for you this morning with a lot of great information and a house full here in the studio. But before we get into the show, I do want to tell you about a special screening that is taking place tonight. Travis, A Soldier Story, will be screening at Hawkeye Community College tonight from 6:30 until 8:30 p.m. in Tama Hall at the Hall's Auditorium. Tickets may be reserved by calling Hawkeye's Library at 319-296-4006 or stopping in. Tickets are free. Seating is limited, however. Remaining tickets will be available at the door. Travis, A Soldier Story is an intimate look into the life of a wounded soldier as he faces an unimaginable physical and emotional challenges of life-altering injuries. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. with presentations by Scott Dewey with Retrieving Freedom and Dennis Clark with Clark & Associates Prosthetics and Orthotics. Mr. Clark will share his experience at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. Mr. Dewey will discuss and show how service dogs help wounded veterans. Light refreshments will follow the film. This event is hosted by Hawkeye Community College and the Hawkeye Student Veterans Organization, AMVETS Post 49, the Career Center, VGM, and Clark & Associates Prosthetics and Orthotics. Access the poster for additional information. Again, that screening will take place tonight, May 6th at Tama Hall in the Hall's Auditorium from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And then there will be an additional screening on Wednesday, May 7th, again in Tama Hall at the Hall's Auditorium from 6:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. Now, on to our show. We have a house full this morning, so what I'm going to do is give our guests each an opportunity to give us their name and tell us what they do for the college. So I'll start with my first guest here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Darcy Kraus. I am a career pathway navigator with Hawkeye Community College. I work in the GAP Tuition Assistance Program. We can provide funding for short-term training for high-demand careers.
Great. And our next guest?
Hi there, I'm Rachel Evans, and I'm the coordinator of the Career Services Center on Hawkeye's main campus. And the Career Services Center is, I always say, just kind of your one-stop shop for everything career-related.
Great.
Hi, my name is Jerry Orr. I work for Business Community Education for Hawkeye Community College. My office is in Cedar Falls on Nordic Drive and Industrial Park. My job title is Trade and Industry Coordinator. We work with a lot of non-credit type training, work hand in hand with Darcy a lot for setting up some classes for, we're aiming towards trade and industry. So
Great. Well, I want to thank you all for being here this morning. The work you do for the college is just fantastic. I was mentioning before the show how there are students that have gone through some of the programming Hawkeye has offered and just really been excited and really geared to take advantage of additional programming. So today's studio session will be kind of informal because you all kind of tie in together with some of the things we want to talk about this morning, so I'll kind of just be throwing it all over the place. So with that, Darcy, first of all, can you tell us what all you are working with and have to offer?
Right now, the GAP Tuition Assistance Program covers about 8 different training programs. The tuition assistance coverage is for, like I said, high-demand jobs. So things like nurse aide, truck driving, getting your CDL, and one of the classes that's running right now is industrial electrical maintenance. That's a longer class, but there are some great jobs out there. We also have welding program, and the one that's going to be starting up in about a month is the Skilled Trade Basics, which is an introduction to construction, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and ideally sets a person up for a position to become an apprentice.
Wow. And, one of the things that's really interesting, I think we discussed a little bit before we went live too, was the number of openings in these different areas and how it just seems like Hawkeye timed it perfectly to start offering these programs because the jobs are there. You want to speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, the jobs are definitely there, and you only have to go as far as the want ads, or go online and look at what the demand is for these various positions. And actually, we only get funding for jobs that are in high demand. So it's focused primarily on healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and transportation and logistics. So all three of those areas are really big in our community. The businesses that are out there are looking for workers, and when it comes to skilled trades, it's almost a matter of just knowing someone who works in that field, because so many people are kind of phasing out, they're aging out, and a lot of individuals are going to be retiring from these professions, and it takes a while to become a journeyman electrician or a journeyman plumber. The great thing about going through an apprenticeship like that is that you get paid while you're learning and earning.
That is fantastic. And just to speak a little bit about, you mentioned some of the people who are aging out of the fields. I know in talking with Marty Kroenke with the Truck and Transportation Program, he had said the United States is going to be about 400,000 to 450,000 drivers short. So there's so many opportunities as far as rapid training for people to get into the trucking and transportation industry. And he said oftentimes before students even complete, they kind of have multiple job offers sitting there just waiting for them. So I think that is great. Now, Rachel, what do you see in your area?
I see, kind of like what Darcy said, a lot of job openings, and we're really wanting our students and alumni to take those jobs because those are great opportunities. So what we can do in the Career Service Center to help people on their way to that is help them compose their application documents, so their resumes and their cover letters, which are very important. We can help with interviewing skills. So if they're a little nervous about going on the interview, they can come and see us, and we can perform a mock interview, help them practice a little bit, and then also help them find those jobs that are out there.
And you mentioned helping them even put together like the application process.
Yes.
A lot of people that maybe haven't filled out an application recently don't know that that's become pretty sophisticated, with the new technology age. So I think the services that you're offering are right on time.
Yes, definitely, and it's amazing how so many companies are now doing online applications.
Yes.
And it's new for a lot of people. So we are there to help. We have a nice computer bank in our office, so people are always welcome to come in and fill out the applications right here on campus if they'd like to.
Fantastic. And then Jerry, what are you seeing in your area?
A lot of what I'm doing is a lot of what Darcy was talking about. We set up the classes, find the instructors, and find their times that we think would work good to get people into the classes. Darcy's the one that has the money, she always likes to say.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Anyway, we've been pretty successful in doing some welding classes. We were here a little over a month ago. You weren't here the day we were here, Warren, but we talked about the industrial maintenance program. We just got that started. That's going into its third week now. We got 11 very motivated people in there that are they're doing really well. So, and I think they're not going to have any trouble at all finding a job once they're done. So, the other one that we're kind of launching, that's going to be starting here in June, is the Skilled Trade Basics. That class will take about 5 weeks. The first week, we're going to bring them in and do the OSHA 10-hour construction, which it's all about safety on the workplace, work site. So we're going to bring them in. Some of that most of it will be online, that part of it. Once they're done with that, we're going to have them come for a week. We're going to teach them some construction math, just all about, adding, subtracting fractions and adding decimals and changing, and just stuff that you're going to use on the work site. So, and then the last part of it, 48 hours of skilled trade basics. I got a good instructor that's actually working in the field now, and he's going to teach them just a lot of the basic stuff, whether it be plumbing, mechanical, the HVAC, carpentry, or whatever, so electrical. Yeah, we're excited about it.
Now, you mentioned something that was really interesting. You mentioned a math that's specific to that field. You don't hear that quite often, and I think that is something that's really good, because a lot of times we get students that are worried about, well, if I go back to school for a trade or whatever, am I gonna have to, go back into those areas that I'm not really interested in academically or weren't, strong in? But being that you're gonna actually be learning the mathematics or whatever that is geared right for that field, I think that makes a lot of difference.
And it's things like reading a tape measure and those fractions, so 3/4 inch and 1/2 inch or whatever, that is really specific to that field. And because it's short, this is 5-6 weeks. It's not like you're stuck in a semester-long
Right.
course that never ends, and a lot of times people say, oh, well, math is not my thing. But you do need math in different capacities depending on the
Yeah.
job. And one thing that Jerry does is talks to the businesses and finds out what they need when they hire people. And they're saying, people need to have some basic math so they can do, read a tape measure or figure out how much wire it's gonna take to run that conduit or whatever around the room, or those types of things.
That's great, and that's a perfect segue into something I like to mention every show. Hawkeye Community College has a way of assessing the community needs, finding programming to meet those needs, or building it from scratch. Would you agree?
Agreed, yes.
One of the other things too, Darcy, you hit on, is that, these programs are pretty much short-term, and a lot of times, one of the obstacles, potential students had to coming back to school was, I want to do it, but I don't really have the time to commit a whole semester or a whole year, but I want to get this specific trade or skill. So now, with these opportunities, you're talking about a 5-6 week commitment, that's what, a month and a half, you can't beat that. And then the pay in these fields are above minimum wage, I would think, right? Can you give us some examples? So roughly, what have you heard as far as pay scale in some of these areas?
Usually it's starting as, let's say, a plumber's helper, something like that, would be around $10 an hour.
Wow.
And those jobs as a journeyman apprentice, they're making more like, what, 20,
Yeah.
25?
Actually, I have some figures here from 2012 Iowa Wage Survey in Blackhawk County. They have electricians making from 17 to 28, plumbers from 16 to 28, and the mechanical HVAC from around 15 to 28. So, yeah, they're good jobs.
Yes, indeed. So do you have any specific programs that are coming up that people need to know about right away, Darcy?
So the Skilled Trade Basics is starting June 2nd, and that's an evening class. It's 5:30 to 9:30, Monday through Thursday. And that will end July 3rd. So yeah, it's the month of June, but you're in, you're out, and getting a really good foundation for working in pretty much any area of construction. And this is not specific to one field. So you might be able to go to work for a plumbing contractor or a construction company that builds houses, or maybe some place specific that just works in electrical work. Because it is short-term, it is not covered by financial aid. And we do have tuition assistance through our GAP program that does require you meet income guidelines. However, the income guidelines are very generous. So depending on your family size, if you were a family size of 1, you could have $29,175 in earnings over the last 12 months. So just thinking back the past year, that's even for someone who's working, that's making about $12 an hour, and you would still be eligible.
So that's real generous.
That's very generous. If you are a family size of 4, maybe mom, dad, and 2 kids, $59,625. That's a very generous amount. So
Yes.
both parents could be working, making 10, 12, maybe even more than that an hour, and still be eligible for tuition assistance. The class costs $779. However, GAP could pay the entire amount if you meet our income guidelines and other eligibility criteria, plus any safety equipment that is required. I think maybe it's gonna be some steel-toed boots and,
Not necessarily for this one, more just the hard hats and the safety glasses, yeah.
and we can purchase that for participants as well.
Wow, now that's, that's a deal you can't beat, really. And I'm glad to see that a lot of people in the community are actually taking advantage of it. Rachel, you have anything coming up that people need to know about?
I like to let people know that we are open during the summer.
Great.
We're on campus, the main campus in Bremer Hall, 102, but we are open during the summer, so people are definitely welcome to stop in, make appointments, to help them with anything that they can need assistance with.
Now,
So-
there was a question that was asked a couple of weeks ago about the Career Center. Someone wanted to know, do you have to be a current Hawkeye student to utilize the services?
You do not need to be a current Hawkeye
Wow.
student. We assist students, alumni, and community members. So
Wow.
pretty much anyone is welcome to come in and utilize our services.
That is fantastic. And no differentiation between the services you can get as a student or,
None. They're all the same. Everyone will get the same type of resources that we can help anybody with, because we are an institution that likes to help the community, so we want to be there for them as well.
now for those that are terrified of touching a computer because they've never touched one before,
Sure.
do you see that sometimes?
We see that a lot, actually,
Okay.
and it's funny because it's any age range. It's not a particular
Yeah.
it's not a particular set. It's a little bit of everybody, so that's okay. We can take the time to show you how to do some things, and like I said, it's kind of getting that way where
Yes.
technology is everything now, and but we can definitely sit down with people and help them out.
Great.
Yes.
And when you mentioned helping with even the interviewing skills, I think that is another important thing that people often overlook, because it does take a certain amount of training or getting used to the process for interviews, especially nowadays. They've gotten a little bit more unique and different company to company.
Yes.
And I've seen where some companies actually do the first face-to-face by way of Skype and
Yes.
things of that nature. And so I think that's some really interesting stuff that we're going to continue to see.
Absolutely.
Jerry, anything coming up in your area?
Yeah, actually, one thing we haven't talked about yet is we are in the process of building a CNC lab in our building in Cedar Falls, and we're getting real close to being done with that. So that's another one that we're gonna launch here maybe in the next couple of months. So, and then we continually try to do welding classes. It gets to be a little bit of a struggle finding time to get into the welding lab, because everybody, there's a lot of demand for that, but we have a couple different options for that. So, and then along with this skilled trades, that's going to be starting, and we plan on doing another industrial maintenance probably this fall. So, I think that was a little bit of why we might have lost a few people that were interested, just because it's the one we're doing now is running right through the summer, which is tough to sit in a classroom. So, yeah, we got a lot of things on our plate.
Now, you mentioned CNC. I know that's a really popular one. What exactly is CNC?
Yeah.
Or what
Let's
type
see.
of work?
I'm trying to think of what they actually stand for. It's mainly you'd be working in the manufacturing center. They're mills that make parts for, like John Deere, for instance, has a lot of CNC machines. A lot of companies, I don't like to mention just one, but a lot of companies have they do multiple things, but now it's getting into you building your programs on a computer and that sort of thing, and then you take it out and the machine will cut the part, drill the holes. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned also the welding part of it. I know that I was told that women that go into welding is kind of looked at as a non-traditional field, but that there's certain skills that women have that are stronger than their male counterparts, and so women kind of are in high demand in the welding field. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I'm sure that we have women in our welding classes, so welding takes a certain hand-eye coordination that some people, that's a little bit of something that you can't really teach. I mean, I think you can work on it to improve it, but, definitely women are, a lot of them are good at that, so, yeah.
Wow, that's great. Now, for anyone looking at taking advantage of any of these opportunities, what's the first step and what's the criteria or prerequisites or anything of that nature?
Well, if you're interested in GAP tuition assistance for any program, you can contact our office, which is part of Hawkeye. We're located at the Workforce Center at 3420 University Avenue. But maybe calling is what I would suggest first, 319-296-4247. And leave your information. If no one answers, we will definitely get back to you and find out what program you're interested in. If it's skilled trade basics, which is coming up, that's great. Maybe it's nurse aid. We also have continuous enrollment for the CDL truck driving. But just call, leave a message, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. We have an orientation process that we run Mondays and Wednesdays. We also are offering it occasionally at Metro on West 4th Street, and that's Hawkeye's Metro Center, just for another location. So lots of opportunities, and you'll see our flyers out and about as well.
Great. And I'm so glad that GAP now covers the nurse aid, because that is such a popular program, and that was the one stumbling block was funding, and some of those funding resources that used to be available are no longer available. So that was the one area that people really struggled with, but now we have a additional resource to access, so I think that is just awesome.
And we filled up a whole class, 10 people with just GAP participants, and another probably, 7 or 8 that are enrolled for this summer in regular 4-credit nurse aid that we assisted with as well. So that was a huge demand in just a few short months. So that's ongoing enrollment for that as well.
Great. And then?
Okay, so for career services, again, we're on the Hawkeye's main campus in Bremer 102, and we always welcome walk-ins, so anyone is welcome to come in and see us, but we do recommend making an appointment, because that way you have that time, especially with me, to work, and they can call us at 319-296-4297 to schedule that appointment or just ask some questions. And then, like I said, we are open during the summer from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
That's
all summer long.
Now, one other question too, do you have assessment tools for, let's say, a person that's coming in, they just want to kind of know where they sit at as far as certain skills or whatever?
Absolutely. We have actually a lot of people come in just kind of curious, kind of want to explore their options and see what's out there. So we do offer a few different career assessments that are web-based, so they can come to our office and take the assessment. We'll walk through the results, we'll talk, but then they're also welcome to go home and explore a little bit too, because research is a big part of those things, wanting to know, the job availability, the wages, things like that. So we'll take a little time to explore those options, and a lot of times people are not surprised at all with their results, and sometimes they're very surprised. So it's really a learning experience for them and me, honestly, sometimes to see those things.
Great.
Yeah, we sure do.
And then Jerry.
Yeah, I was thinking a little bit of the skilled trades basics. Of course, we'll take any age of person coming in, but this may be a great program for a kid that's in high school or just getting out of high school. Maybe doesn't really want to go the college route at this point. You take this skilled trades basics class for the month of June at night. If you like it, you could go down the street and probably find a job at any plumbing shop or electrical shop. Most of them are hiring, so you could start your job there, get into an apprenticeship program, and 4 years of apprenticeship between on-the-job training and we do some classroom training at Hawkeye Community College for apprenticeships as well. At the end of 4 years, you can sit for a journeyman's exam, and who can make a good living. So,
Wow, that is great. And I'm so glad that, like you said, there's an opportunity for a person coming out of high school that doesn't want to jump right into a four-year college commitment, but they want to get something
Right.
under their belt in which they can earn a decent living pretty
Exactly.
much right away. And I don't think those opportunities have always been there, so I think that is really fantastic. Well, before we sign off on the show, I do want to mention again also that tonight on the main campus in Tama Hall in the Halls Auditorium from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., you can catch a screening of Travis, A Soldier Story. Or if you can't make it tonight, you can actually come out tomorrow night on May 7th, again from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. in Tama Hall in the Halls Auditorium to catch a screening of Travis, A Soldier Story. Again, Travis, A Soldier Story is an intimate look into the life of a wounded soldier as he faces the unimaginable physical and emotional challenges of his life-altering injury. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. with presentations by Scott Dewey with Retrieving Freedom and Dennis Clark with Clark & Associates Prosthetics and Orthotics. Mr. Clark will share his experiences at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, and Mr. Dewey will discuss and show how service dogs help wounded veterans. Light refreshments follow the film. Again, the special event is hosted by Hawkeye Community College and the Hawkeye Student Veterans Organization, as well as AMVETS Post 49, the Career Center, VGM, and Clark & Associates Prosthetics and Orthotics. Access the poster if you see the poster for the screening for additional information. Well, we've had a great show today. I want to thank you all for being on the show. Listeners, you heard it here first, so please take advantage of these great opportunities. And until next time, enjoy the weather out there. You've been listening to Opening Doors. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
That's doing fine every time.
It is.